But first, welcome to the real story. President Bush used the fourth veto of his presidency. Don't get into any rush. I mean, don't want to use them all up. And apparently his pen does work. He used it this morning when he nixed a $35 billion expansion of the state's children's health insurance program, otherwise known as S-CHIP. Oh, I knew it. The president really does hate children. Well, if that's what you were thinking, then at least according to the media, you're not alone. Because of a recent Washington Post ABC News poll found that 72% of Americans support expanding the program for low-income children. Well, the problem is the genius pollsters basically worded their question in a way so people had the choice between helping poor children by taxing evil smokers or just let the children die. Not really a fair representation of the issue, despite what the Democrats and the media actually are saying to you. And it's weird to say Democrats and the media because it's pretty much the same thing, isn't it? No matter what they want you to believe, the real story is that expanding the S-CHIP program isn't about poor children. It's about socialized medicine. And how do I know? Because we already have S-CHIP for poor children. All they have to do is sign up for it. This isn't about expanding the program for poor children. This is about expanding the program to the middle class. In some states, people making up to $83,000 a year, 83 grand, would be able to have their children covered. 83,000. When did $83,000 become low income? It's not. It's just the next step moving towards all full-out universal health care. You bring up the income eligibility limit over here, 300 or 400% over the poverty line, 300 or 400%. Then you raise the age limit, and pretty soon, what do you got? Look, we're all covered by the government. Congratulations, America. You're now on that 4-year waiting list to have your brain tumor removed. I love this country. If you're a fan of common sense, I got another fun fact for you. Democrats love to say that this plan would be entirely funded by higher cigarette taxes. They also say, in a separate argument, that they need higher taxes on cigarettes because it'll convince more people to stop smoking. Okay, I buy into that one. That's probably right, since that's exactly what's happening as a result of huge cigarette taxes here in New York City. Now, the problem is, and don't get me wrong, I'm no congressional budget office analyst, I'm just a thinker, but don't you sort of need people to keep smoking in order to collect all those taxes that are supposedly going to fund their program? I'm just saying. Democrats, you don't need another $35 billion. You don't need another $5,000 per child like Hillary wants. What you really need is $18. I say use it to buy a dictionary and look up just 3 words. Poverty, children, and socialist. Now, if cigarette taxes won't pay for our health care, then what will? Well, I think I got a glimpse of that last week when Democratic Congressman John Dingell offered his plan to deal with, wait for it, global warming. Wait a minute, Glenn. What does global warming have to do with socialized medicine? Well, it's just simple. All you have to do is think like a politician. See, you can use the taxes from one to pay for the other. That's exactly what Congressman Dingell is proposing we do. His idea is to tax CO2 emissions and increase taxes on gasoline and people who buy those huge homes, you know, those homes over 3,000 square feet, and then use all of that money to fund programs like Medicare and Social Security and, yes, universal health care if it passes. Here's what I have to say to Congressman Dingell, and please, if you have children in the room, mute the television set for just a second. Okay? Congressman, thank you. Thank you. I know what you're doing. The real story is, while I couldn't disagree with more of his ideas, Congressman Dingell is the first person who was actually being honest with you. You see, the media loves to show you all those pictures of the Arctic ice falling. Oh, look, there it is, it's falling. Oh, no. And then the cute little homeless bears, you know, that are holding onto that last little ice cube. They'll show you that all day long, but when it comes to talking about the price tag on the solutions, you could hear a starving penguin drop. Right. Virtually no media picked up on Dingell's tax plan because no one wants to hear about it. As he puts it, the pain that it would take to fix this, nobody wants to talk about that. What a lot of people don't understand about global warming is you can't talk about fixing it without considering its impact on other important problems that we need to solve or we will create. It's like if I asked you, you love your dog? you'd probably say, oh, yeah, my dog. Oh, he's the best. Hell, I mean, he's like a member of the family. But if I said, I either kill you, or your dog, or your daughter, choose one, you'd probably say, gee, Ringo, I don't like him so much. See you later, Ringo. It's kind of an important part of the equation here. It's one thing to say, sure, I love the environment, but it's a completely other thing to hand over billions of dollars that could instead be used for something else, like curing disease, building double-layered fences along all of our borders, or helping the poor. I mean, do you know how many families there are out there that are making $83,000 a year and just can't afford health insurance for their kids? It's an epidemic. Stephen Moore is a senior economic writer for the Wall Street Journal. Stephen, there's a debate going on, about whether Dingell means this or not. I don't think he does, but he's actually the only one telling the truth. This is exactly what it would take if you wanted to get into any kind of global warming tax. Yeah, this is shock treatment by John Dingell. Let's not forget that he represents the Detroit area of Michigan, where you have the car manufacturers. But the point here is that most of the environmentalists and a lot of the Democrats in Congress will privately tell you they want this 50-cent a gallon gasoline tax increase on top of the carbon tax, which would be one of the most regressive taxes we could put on the middle class and on poor people. And let's not forget, this would come at a time when a lot of middle-class people are feeling a middle-class financial pinch. A 50-cent a gallon increase in gas is not going to help. Yeah, and then you have the carbon tax. For every ton of carbon that you use, you get taxed an extra $50. And then what's great is they wipe out the mortgage deduction for your house as well. Yeah, exactly. What a deal, right? Oh, where do I sign up for that? You lose your mortgage deduction. You get all these increases on... And people probably don't know what a carbon tax is. What that really means is that anything that you buy that has energy in it is going to cost more. But, Glenn, that's everything that you buy, whether it's food or clothing or a gallon of gasoline. And so the cost of living is going to go up a lot if they pass this carbon tax. All right, now tell me this. I mean, first of all, can you believe, how is it that people can expect to get elected, and I bet they do, when they're talking about tax raise after tax raise after tax raise? It's incredible. This is the interesting thing, because the Democrats' message over the last 6 months is, we're only going to be raising taxes on the rich. And that actually has been a message that works for them. The problem is they can't get enough revenues by just going after the rich people. So now they're talking about something that goes right at the heart and soul and the pocketbook of the middle class, a gasoline tax increase. Remember, Glenn, that means about $8 or $9 or $10 more every time you go fill up your car. Now, the Dingell's proposal, I love this, goes to pay for a highway tax. So I guess let's build more highways. Goes to help out Social Security, health care, Medicaid, and here's possibly my favorite, energy for poor, low-income families. Yeah. So in other words, the government is going to take money from gasoline tax to help against global warming, and then give it to people who probably have the least efficient heaters in their house. Yeah, this is a classic example, Glenn, of how Washington creates a problem or crisis, and then they rush to our rescue to fix it. It's amazing. Stephen, what does April 15th, 2010 look like if there is a Democrat in the White House and a Democratic Congress? Well, it means hold on to your wallets, folks, because we're looking at a huge slew of new taxes. Let's not forget, just this week, the Democrats also passed this big, massive health care bill. Lord knows where they're going to get the revenues to pay for that. So the cost of living, the cost of taxes is going up a whole heck of a lot in 2009 and 10 if we see that scenario of President Hillary Clinton. Let me talk about the S-chip program here for a second. Yeah. They're lowering the age on one end, up at the top with Medicare, and they're am I mistaken? I'm pretty sure they're saying now that a child is 25 years or younger. Yeah. Is that right? Well, the House bill that passed would make eligibility for, quote, children, anyone less than 25. By the way, Glenn, I sure hope my kids, when they're 24, 25, are still not living at home with me. But in addition to that, if you have an income in some states up to $82,000 a year, which is hardly poor, you would basically get free health care. So what's going to happen is this is going to move people out of the private insurance system into the government system. I don't know how people survive on only $83,000 a year. Stephen, thanks a lot. That's a